This is extremely important. The government wants to remove this term due consideration to race, ethnicity, linguistics and religion. Now, due consideration, all it means is it's something that you should consider. It doesn't mean that it's compulsory, it's mandatory. So it's always allowed a degree of flexibility. So to remove it is to remove a very important protection in some circumstances. So the question is, why would you do that?
What about this? If I were Michael Gove, I'd probably say to you, yes, it's really unfortunate the way adoptions were done in the 60s. You were adopted in the 60s. But now, in 2013, so many years later, the majority of people in this country are so much more sensitive about this. We're so much more aware. The resources are there. The material is there to empower young people of African, Caribbean, Asian or mixed heritage. So we're not as naive as we used to be. We know there is a need, and the parents coming forward, they will have that.
Yeah, I think that there's a side that you could say we have evolved. But if you really look at, has racial discrimination, to say one, has it disappeared from society? Do we experience it less? If we measured it by unemployment or so on, or the prisons, if we really measured it by those things, we would have to say society hasn't matured as well as it should be.
Marlene, let me qualify my response by saying I'm coming from a social work background. I came into social work in the mid-1980s. I'm no longer practicing social worker, but I came into social work in the mid-1980s on the back of the campaigns against transracial fostering adoption and in favor of same-race fostering adoption. And most councils took on that
So you would be the nemesis of Michael Gove, the Education Secretary, if you could be.
Yeah, you could say that. and the research, very important research of the day, showed that over 2 out of 3 black children placed in white families exhibited serious psycho-emotional problems and self-alienation, issues of self-alienation. Now, that's not necessarily a reflection on whether the people who cared for them had good intentions. Of course, love is not about whether one has good intentions or not. I call that cage bird love. You know, I can take a bird and put the bird in a cage and feed it every day and say, pretty Polly, and give it a bird seed. And say, I do that because I love the bird. And the bird may
some people
adjust.
watching this now who've given their heart and soul would find that very disrespectful.
Well, it's not trying to be disrespectful. It's trying to understand that the bird has to alter its nature of being in order to fit into that bird cage and to accept your notion of love. My intentions may be good, but what I'm doing to that bird is altering its nature. And the points that have been made just now are very, very important points. African children have specific needs that are defined by their racial identity and their cultural context. And this is a part of the debate that is missing.